David C. Jones talking more about films at the Out on Screen Festival, some of them online, some of them in theaters. And also this year, there are several programs that are compiled of short films. Well, obviously, we always have the Coast is Queer film series with the local filmmakers. But this year, one of the other shorts, and there's a lot of different short series, is called Make It Out Live. And it's the films about young people and them struggling to find identity in this crazy mixed up world. I am talking with one of the filmmakers of Sub Rosa, which is one of the short films, who is in England right now. Where are you, Daniel?
Yes, I'm in London.
You're in London.
Yeah.
Nice. Daniel, your film is called Sub Rosa, and according to the program, you're closing off the series of films, so yours must be very good.
You gotta go out with a banger, yeah.
So tell us about Sub Rosa.
Right, Sub Rosa. It's a coming of age queer film. It's about a little teenage boy who's closeted and well, kind of. One of the main aspects of the film that I wanted to focus on is I've seen many coming out stories, and a lot of times they're obviously very important stories because it's a big part of the queer experience, but I kind of wanted to focus on something else or something different that deals with being in the closet. So the whole film, I mostly focus, the topic is basically the anxieties that you face when you are in the closet. And how that can kind of shift your judgment and the decisions that you make, and how it can kind of ruin your life.
Oh my!
That's basically what the story's about. Yeah.
And according to the write-up, because I haven't seen this film, according to the write-up, a big part of that factors into with his friend.
Yes. He's got his really good friend Eleanor. They've been friends for ages. It's one of those, since primary school. It's one of those friendships, and because they have this bond, Eleanor wants to make it a romantic thing, and our main character Sam, he's kind of feels like he has to also make it a romantic thing just because that's what straight people do, and that's what you have to do at this age. You gotta have a girlfriend. So they kind of try. And then the friendship kind of suffers because of this.
Oh my, okay. So, and you wrote this and directed this. So what was that like? What would you say was the biggest challenge of putting this film project together?
I think the biggest challenge, there were two. There's so many challenges. Probably the biggest challenge was just dealing with something that is so emotional and so a lot of it is personal to my life, so I drew from scenes in the show and in the film are some of them are based on past experiences of mine, and that is I didn't even realize until I was directing how difficult it was going to be to tell your actors like this is what we're going through, because it is personal, and I come from a comedy background, so usually I'm like, oh, la, 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 on set, and we're having a good time. And suddenly we get to a point where your actor has to cry because it's so detrimental what they're going through. And that is difficult to do.
Wow. So this sounds like there's a lot packed into this film. Now, these are shorts. How long is your film? How long is Sub Rosa?
I think it's around 23 minutes.
Wow. So you pack all this emotion and all this. This is what I love about short films. I've made a few myself, trying to condense so much story into a small piece. And I find I commend you for making such a powerful and it sounds like very personal film. Why should people make sure they see Sub Rosa?
You should watch it because I made it with the mindset that this is something that people need to see, especially queer people. People I wanted to make something that if you watch it, people will go, oh, you know what? I haven't seen this before. So that's why you should watch it.
I think
something new.
Something new, something fresh. Well, Daniel, I'm finding this fascinating. I want to go talk to a bunch of other filmmakers who are part of the Make It Out Alive. I always take that pause. Make It Out Alive film series. And so I'm going to thank you for checking in with me from London. And I'm going to go talk to some other people right now.
Yeah, enjoy. Have a good time. Thank you so much.
Well, as I mentioned, I got so excited about from Daniel hearing about Make It Out Alive that I wanted to talk to some of the other filmmakers. So we have Yen and Nick here. Yay! Hi guys. Where am I talking to you from? You're Americans, right?
We are Americans.
Yeah, we are Americans. Minus the things that have been happening. Yes, we are Americans.
Here, I'll point out the Canadian accent. Sorry. See, I sound totally different.
No.
So Yen's currently in the Bay Area. I'm in,
I
in
am
LA.
back in the Bay Area. Nick, where?
Yeah, I'm in LA.
Yep.
Nice. So tell me about Love Me. Yen, this was your idea. Like you were like, I have a passion in my heart that I want to make a film about. So tell me about how this came about, Love Me.
Yeah, so for me, like, I think for me being Aries, like there's barely any representation of that, let alone, like queer, trans representation. Obviously, we're having more of that, which is really great. But even within the LGBTQIA plus community, like Aries identities are often erased. And so when I, wrote this story, obviously a lot of it is based on my personal experiences, but I didn't want it to be a typical coming out story and then you get rejected by your own peer, and we already seen a lot of that. I purposely wanted to make it comedic but still have it something relatable, even if the audience doesn't identify with the community.
Nice. And Nick, how did you end up getting involved?
So we both made the film within the Outset program with Outfest. It's a filmmaking program. And we were the 2020 class. So things were a little shaky on that end because of the pandemic and whatnot. And, the class randomly, within around, what was that? May 2021, June 2021, we're like, okay, we're back on. And I was like, yeah, and let's do this film together. Your idea is cool. I don't have an idea that I'm ready to just jump on board within production and within just a short couple weeks. So yeah, Yen's story was, really compelling. And I think that, there's that lack of representation within the LGBTQIA plus community. And I was like, this was something that needed to be told. So I was like, let's make it happen.
Nice. Now, one of the things that's quite, I watched the film last night. I always love to watch the films ahead of time. And it's charming and also painful at times film, because the characters go through some angst as they're doing it. But also it's quite uniquely told. I love reading subtext. So Yen and Nick, you can speak to the subtext or go, yes, sure, that was the subtext. Is you play so much with sound. You got the sound of steps and the sound of moving and sound, like the soundscape is expanded in the world that they're in. And I went, is that because nobody's listening?
Sure, we can go with that. I mean, and honestly, that wasn't my direction. Maybe it was Yen's. I don't know if we talked about that, but we did want to play with sound a lot. And there was moments of maybe not necessarily nobody's listening, but just giving a feeling of waiting, to build suspense within the story.
You were emphasizing the silence by adding background sounds to it. Thanks.
Yeah, so it was suspense building, but we can go everyone has their own interpretation. I love that interpretation. That's fun. I like that.
Yen, speak to that, or the soundscape. Because you also do some quick cuts which again lends itself to a slightly comedic feel, right? Because it's boom, 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 and extreme close up and back, and then the shots going up the stairs and stuff like that. So, what inspired you, or what were you? Is there a filmmaker that you admire that you were like, I want to get that kind of vibe? Because it's kind of unique. But were you inspired by anyone?
For me, a lot of things that I watch are like Asian dramas, like internationally, and so that's where I get a lot of my inspiration from. And so, when I was kind of discussing this with Nick in terms of shot list, how do I, bring inspiration from abroad, but still make it so that American viewers can, still enjoy it. And so with the comedic, it's just, just a lot of actions. A lot of things are going on, right? The moment, like 1 minute has passed and a lot of things are going on. And, I just hope to keep the audience engaging because one of the restrictions that we had was that we had to film it in one location and we only had 12 hours to film it. And so we did our best to, maximize the most we have our constraints.
Nice. So that's one of the things because of the film contest, or was it the film contest plus COVID?
So it was like a film program through Outfest.
Film program, yeah, not a contest.
Yeah. And yeah, that was one of the rules that we had to follow within that program. And then when Yen, came, we decided to work on this together. I was like, okay, let's see. Like, I want to see your decks. I want to see like what creative inspiration. And then there was a lot of anime involved. So like me understanding like anime, maybe not to the level extent of Yen, but having, watched a few animes before, I was like, okay, cool. Like I can get into this world for sure, And then our production designer, we were watching films with her just to like, kind of just discuss that world, and Scott Pilgrim versus the World came into the conversation. So, watching Edgar Wright, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like this totally can fit into this world with like, comic book kind of style. So that was kind of a inspiration as well for the visual style.
Nice. Well, you can't go wrong with, I've lost the picture. Oh, there we go. There I'm back. You can't go wrong with having Edgar Wright as a touchstone as you're going forward. All right, Yen. This is it. This is your chance. You're going to do the elevator pitch. People have to choose which films they want to see. Your film is actually part of the Make It Out Alive. I always do the pause before the alive. So you're going to get a screening in a theater, as well as you're going to be on the online part of the festival as well. So there's a lot of films that they get to choose from. Yen, you're going to do the pitch now on why they should see your film in the Make It Out Alive film collection.
I think, as minorities, we're constantly having to face a lot of marginalization and, systematic oppression. And so a lot of films that I keep seeing in film festivals or just like other places, it's always kind of sad, intense, very depressing. And, a lot of things is going on right now in our world. I mean, especially in America, but, right. And so I was hoping with this film, like, we all need some sort of stress relief, some sort of laughter, some sort of thing to laugh and enjoy, like what the experiences of being queer, right? And like just to enjoy our lives and just live to the fullest. And so I like it when you say, when you emphasize make it out alive, right? It's a lot of it's like, how do we make it out alive? How do we make it out alive of like all this shit that's going on, right? Our marginalization, our systematic oppression, again, like all this, how do we make it out alive? Because it is exhausting. Who we never asked to be oppressed, right, with our intersectional identities. And so I hope that with this film, like people can just enjoy. Like part of when I wrote it, I didn't want it to be a happy ending of where like Tiffany, she suddenly understood and she finally like respects Ten's identity. Like no, like like realistically, people aren't going to understand. People are never going to understand, and that's okay. I think as long as like, we learn to respect each other and who we are, like that's all that matters, and we can just coexist peacefully. And one, peacefully is still like very political, right? Like it's a very ambitious word, but overall, like I just want my film to just have audience like laugh and just brings, if I can bring some certain joy to people and still have Arrow Ace representation, it's a win for me.
Nice. I like that. Like we don't have to understand each other, but we just have to get out of each other's damn way, right? You can be over there not knowing stuff. That's fine. Don't know stuff. I don't know stuff. You don't know stuff. But we don't have to get into each other's faces about, with anger. I don't know something. Nick, you're gonna get the last word now. You got 10 seconds. 10 seconds to do like a pitch to why they should go, because Yen, you gave the beautiful, heartfelt reason why they should go, but Nick, you're going to go, okay, I'm cutting through the chatter. I'm going to give you why you should not make it out alive. Here we go. I'm going to just pin you here. Okay, go for it, Nick.
Okay, go see Love Me if you want to laugh and you want to see Arrow Ace representation. Go off. All right, cool.
Nice. Thank you guys both for taking time out of your busy American lives. Make It Out Alive will feature 6 or 7 short films. So thank you guys so much for sharing a little bit of yours.
Yeah, no, thank you so much.